The reason for your problem with anger is your expectation. You want to expect something from people. When they don't produce that expectation, then you can get angry at them. You desire for them to be honest, but they're not honest. So you get angry. So you have to understand that the world is full of different type of people. There are some honest people and there are some dishonest people. People are like fruits, different types of fruits. You have bananas, you have apples, you have cherries. You can't expect everybody to be apples or cherries. Yeah. Some are cherries, some are apples. You just have to take them as for what they are. That's because maybe you despise them, you don't like them. Because you maybe have a certain notion of what people should be, honest, straight. But you understand that the law is not perfect. So people have different integrity, level of integrity. Yes, you have to constantly remind yourself not to expect everybody to be perfect. You can always say, there's a saying that in Thailand, times measure the distance measure the horse, and time measure a person. So it takes time to know them. Whether they are really honest or not honest. When you first meet them, they might show that they're honest, but after you know them for a while, they might not be. So you should not judge people on the first impression. You have to expect, maybe what you see is not what it is actually.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't fit into this question here, but what I'm saying is you should not expect, you should not have a certain preconceived notion of what person is. You should look at them for what they really are.
Yeah. Okay.
So usually you should be suspicious of people when you don't know them, especially when you first meet them. They can show how nice and how they are, but maybe it's just a front. They're just putting up with.
Yeah.
So just don't trust what you see. It takes time for you to be able to find out exactly what a person is.
Yes.
And then you should not be surprised if the person turned out to be dishonest. If you already have this suspicion in the back of your mind, then you won't be disappointed.
Yeah. Okay.
But it doesn't mean you mistrust everybody, but you just have to be slightly careful.
Yes.
Not to put all your trust in the person. Maybe 50%.
Okay.
And the other 50% just wait and see how that person does thing.
Okay.
So usually if you have a veka, your mind will tend to be on a neutral position, in which you don't expect anything from anybody, good or bad, right or wrong. You just wait and see, let the person show their true colors.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people go to jail, right? So the root cause is your desire or your expectation. And when you don't get what you expect, then you get angry. It applies to every other thing as well. You expect people to do something and they don't do it, and you can get angry or disappointed. So don't expect anything. Just take things as they come.
Yeah.
Practice loving kindness. The Buddha say, we should try to practice loving kindness to all beings, not just somebody you love only, but all beings, whether you love them or not, whether you love them or hate them. If you hate them, you should forgive them for their transgression. If they did anything wrong to you, you should forgive them. And you should do not hurt or harm them physically or mentally. And if you can give them happiness, make them happy by sharing what you have, for instance. This is the practice of metta or loving kindness that we should do to everybody, not just selected people, group of people. Do it to everybody. Look at all of us as we are in the same boat. We are the travelers in the rounds of samsara. We are fellow travelers, and we all have enough dukkha on our own. So there's no need to put more dukkha on other people. Look with sympathy, look with empathy to our plight, and we are all in the same boat. We are in the same suffering world. And we should try to alleviate as much suffering from other people as much as possible. If we can, then we just use ubekkha. We just have to leave it to the law of karma. Some people reap the fruits of karma and they're happy, and some people reap the fruit of bad karma and they suffer. So this is their own doing, and sometimes we cannot help them in this regard. But we should never hurt or harm anybody or hate anybody. Like just looking at them as like looking at yourself. If you don't hate yourself, then you should not hate other people. Because hatred is bad for us. When we hate, we become unhappy. Our minds will be agitated. But when we forgive and give up our hatred, the mind becomes peaceful and calm. And we have to accept that people are all different. We all have different preferences, characteristics. So we cannot expect everybody to be good or bad. There's some good people, some bad people, and some in between. So we just have to, if we have to be near them, we just try to, just try to be friendly. If they don't accept our friendliness, then we just have to use ubekkha, equanimity, and just stay aloof, don't stay close to them if they don't want you. If you feel you're not welcome, then you stay away from them. There's no need to change them, no need to change yourself in order to be able to fit with each other. Sometimes just don't fit, shoes have many sizes, right? So sometimes we find the people and we just know that we don't fit with each other. So the best way is just to stay apart as far as possible, as much as possible. If we should be near them, we just exercise mindfulness and friendliness. Don't try to change people. Don't frustrate yourself.
Yeah.
You cannot change them. They have to change themselves. And by your good behavior, you might be able to change them. If they see that you're not that bad after all, then they might start to treat you better. And same way with you toward other people. Okay, does this sound good enough? Sensible enough?
That's very clear, very helpful, Ajahn. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, your hate arising from your desire for something, and when you don't get that something, then you can hate, you can become angry. So if you can reduce down your desire, your craving, then you will be less angry or less hateful. Because you have expectation from people to be so and so, and if they don't meet your expectation, then you can get mad at them. So don't have any expectation. Just take them for what they are.
Yeah.
You cannot change them. You cannot do anything to them. The only thing you can do is to accept them for what they are. You cannot change what you hate, but you can change your mind, your attitude toward them by accepting them for what they are. If they are bad, that's them. It's not you. You don't have to hate them from them for being bad. It all comes to the fact that you don't have enough equanimity. If you have strong equanimity, then you can just you won't react with hate or love or fear or delusion. You just take things as they come, take things as they are. So practice more meditation, get more equanimity. That's the real way of solving your problem of hatred. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Ajahn.